Real quick before getting into today's episode, I just wanted to mention that we do these podcast recordings live on stream. We do these every single Wednesday on Twitch at 7 p.m. EST. That being said, this particular episode was an extra episode, so sometimes we do extra streams on other days. This is a bit of a special one for us. It's the second time we do a roundtable, so usually we just do a single guest at a time, but in this particular episode, we're like 12 people on a call just talking about Deathcore, an upcoming tour that they are all a part of, and all that stuff. So if you guys enjoy what you hear, if you want to find out how to support us, there's going to be a link to that in the description wherever you're watching or listening, as well as a link to our Discord. That is the place to be if you want to talk with other people about deathcore, metalcore, all that good stuff, and to be the first to know about upcoming guests and everything in regards to the podcast. With that out of the way, please enjoy this episode. Welcome to the second edition of the Roundtable series that we've been starting to do on this channel. Very excited about this one. Anyone who follows us has already heard about the Thrill of the Hunt tour because we can't shut the fuck up about it. So, but for those of you who are new here maybe or don't know, the Thrill of the Hunt tour is starting in about a week and a half. Is that, am I correct? When's the first date?
Yeah, we're about a week away.
17th.
There we go. So, yeah, it's we've got 3 bands on this bill that are doing a really cool, like a revival, MySpace deathcore inspired sound. So we've got Peacemaker, VictimBlamed, and Rev3rent. All 3 of those bands are on this tour, and we thought it'd be cool to get them all into this call to just kind of talk about the revival scene, talk about deathcore in general, talk about their bands and everything that's going on. So snare sounds, shitty production, all that sort of stuff, the good old breakdowns, gang chants, all that stuff. So I'd love to maybe just start this call with if all of you could just maybe introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, and also we don't have VictimBlamed in the call right now. They thought it was starting a little bit later, so they are getting set up right now. They will be joining us shortly, so bear with us. But yeah, in the meantime, if you guys want to just go with some intros, maybe we can start with Rev3rent. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Austin. I play guitar in Rev3rent.
Oh yeah,
I play guitar in Rev3rent.
No, I'm Julian. I play drums.
All right.
Mario, I also play guitar.
There we go. And then we got the boys in Peacemaker.
What up? I'm Mark. I do vocals.
I'm Jordan. I also do vocals.
There we go. Hell yeah. So let me just pull this up before I forget what I'm doing here. Yeah, how excited are you guys for this tour? What's the anticipation been like? Because I think from the outside looking in, I feel like this tour has been garnering a decent amount of hype, considering how, you guys haven't been around for a super, super long time, right? Like all the bands on this tour are relatively new, and all the local lineups have been looking to be super fucking cool. There seems to be a lot of hype around all the individual shows and for the bands themselves. So how's it been for you guys? What's the anticipation like for going into this tour?
The Gorilla Glass show
Definitely crazy. I think VictimBlamed has been around longer than all of us, right?
Yeah, but like what, since like mid last year? It's like they haven't. It's still super new, right?
Yeah, I think I know we've been a band for like 4 or 5 months. Rev3rent, how long have you guys been a band?
We've been a band for 3 months.
Yeah, see, we're all new.
Yeah,
So,
I just think it's crazy, right? Because I don't know, Mark, if you have like any like ticket sale numbers for some of these shows or anything like that. But from what I'm seeing outside looking in, it seems like these shows are gonna be mostly doing good, right? Which is cool to see for a bunch of newer bands, I think.
Definitely. The promoter from the Houston date told me that date's like looking like it's gonna sell out. The 2 Florida dates are looking like they're gonna come close to selling out, if not selling out. And then all the other dates have been looking like the event pages and just the hype on Instagram's been looking pretty promising.
Yeah,
I'm just seeing in chat. Sorry that people are saying it's frozen. Is it back now? Do you guys is it still frozen for you guys? Just give me one sec. Sorry. It seems fine on my end, so I just want to make sure it's good for people watching. And can you still hear us? I guess
that'd be great.
Maybe it's like full. Maybe it's full frozen.
No,
it's all good. Okay, cool.
Good. Yeah, I think
I think it's gonna freeze again for a second, but I'm going to.
But yeah, there's definitely like when I did the video, kind of like I wanted to promote all of your bands, but like not in a clear, like super obvious way, like just like promote the band, like without talking about the tour, kind of just promote all the bands. And just from that reaction, the amount of message asking me like, are you gonna be there? Like I'm going at this date, and like the amount of hype surrounding it. Even in the likes, I saw that the freaking drummer from Lorna liked the post and all that, Austin. So I was just like, holy shit. So like there's definitely a huge demand for, I still call it MySpace Deathcore. I know it's not, MySpace Deathcore, but like that's the best term to me. But like there's definitely people waiting for that sound. Like we need that sound because we've got the new wave that we keep talking about, but like this is the deathcore that we all love. So it's cool to see that even if you guys are not around since forever, which is even more impressive to me, like all of your sounds, like it's all super sick, all your songs and everything, but to see that people react this way is even cooler to see. So it must be a freaking trip for you guys to to start this and just see that people are going with it as well. It's very cool to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
scary.
Yeah. Scary. How so?
It's just the amount of hype around it. I don't know. It's my first time that I'm gonna tour, so it's like I don't know what to expect. To play in front of such a huge crowd, from what I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if from having done both, it's way easier to play in front of people than to play in front of nobody. I'll just say that much. You should be good. I'm sure you'll do fine.
One person, and it's like someone or someone working the sound. You're like, okay. Mm-hmm. But what impresses me too is I'm just to imagine the mosh pits. Like every single band on the lineup has crazy breaks. So it's not even a question. It's not like, are people gonna, like, you have to go crazy in these shows. So it's gonna be so cool for you guys.
The Houston, Texas one's gonna be like that. That one's gonna be insane.
Which one? Is that the
Girl of Glass
Deathcore Lives thing?
Yeah,
dude.
At the White Swan. Yeah, dude, let me see if I can pull it up here. Dude, that show is looking fucking insane.
Gotta go crazy in Houston.
Let me see. I think I can screen share this thing here. Yeah, this thing right here. Yeah, VictimBlamed, Peacemaker, Rev3rent, Girl of Glass. Katie went missing. Got Destroy All Humans on this shit too. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
State of Feds too. That band rips. Michael Soda.
I actually haven't heard of them. What do they do? Like kind of music?
It's similar. It's a little more slammy, but the guitarist, I believe, from Peeling Flesh produces them.
Oh, cool.
What?
Yeah,
he does a lot of production and stuff. His stuff sounds sick. Yeah.
I mean, I freaking love Slam, so I'm pretty sure I would. Every time I hear that, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna like it. So.
I mean, I think that's a genre that fits.
Yeah.
The early days of deathcore, there was a lot of slam and like brutal death influence. So it kind of all it's all kind of part of the same thing in my mind. It all makes sense together, especially in this kind of revival thing. But
I mean, very rarely you're going to hear someone saying, "Oh, I love old school deathcore, but slam, oh, dude, it's terrible." Like I've never, like it doesn't make any sense, you know, but it fits together definitely. But to me, it's also wild. And again, it could be a perspective thing, but usually when there's a tour announced, it's like you're stoked for the headliner or one of the bands, and they're fairly different. But I feel like people are equally stoked for everybody on the tour, which is something I don't see a lot. Like, at least from my perspective, it just feels like everybody's on the same, with all due respect, it feels like everybody is on the same level, hyping each other. Like it's,
We've been in an era for so long of mixed bills, right? So it's kind of one of those things where you have all these different styles of bands playing together and they don't necessarily cater to everyone that's going there. So a lot of people are maybe just going for that one band type thing. But I love these types of tours where it's like a very niche, like subgenre, and it's like 3 bands doing that thing, you know, like people that like that genre, it'd be hard for them to not enjoy the 3 bands, right?
For sure.
Yeah, like I feel like one of them, you got pretty much got like all of them.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think for you guys, it's cool for everyone. Like I think it's for everyone involved. It's cool. Like kind of puts everyone on to other music. You stumble upon one band and then you end up being able to enjoy others as well, because it's kind of like cross promotion type thing. How's it been for y'all? Like, I see this new wave of like whatever we want to call it, but the MySpace deathcore, revival deathcore, Instagram deathcore is one term I've heard. How's it been for you guys? Because I feel like this niche, this like subgenre has had a very community like vibe to it. I feel like all the bands in this niche are sharing each other's music. There's no egos. Everyone's like super hyped for what all the other bands are doing, trying to put on the new bands as soon as they come out. How do you guys, I guess, see it, and how have you guys, enjoyed that or not? Like, what's it been for you guys being that sort of thing? Because I think that's not the norm for a lot of the deathcore scene right now, you know?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's been cool. It's sick that like you said, there's no egos, there's no like big headedness. As soon as like people from this like new community see a new band, they're like instantly sharing it and stuff. And like, I know
sometimes there's no music out yet and people are sharing it already, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
You just see a cool ass logo. You're like, all right.
Yeah. Shit's about to get real. Yeah. Pop snare.
We're going to have to talk about the logos, by the way, because that's one of my favorite things. And all of your logos are freaking sick. Like, I feel like it's important. We were talking about that, I think, with Peeling Flesh. I could be wrong, but like when you see a flyer, I feel like it's important that it communicates the kind of music. Like you look at you guys' logo, I know it's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be plenty of freaking breakdowns in it. I know there's gonna be slam and gnarly vocals. Just by looking at a logo, it's pretty wild if you think about it. But it's kind of important though. I don't know if I'm cutting like the conversation, but we need to talk about the logos, that like how it was, how you create, like that's one of my favorite things. Like if you guys did it, if you paid someone, like how it was, this whole process, but I really need to know.
Let's toss it to Rev3rent.
Yeah. How did you guys make yours? Your guys is the coolest.
Ours?
Yeah. Yeah, how did your logo come about?
Honestly, so like since I was like 14, I've loved the annotations of an autopsy logo. And like that was a big inspiration. Like I didn't want to just like rip their logo, but I was like, I want something that's just like disgusting and like the wings on it and stuff, you know. So pretty much just like the older, MySpace deathcore slam bands, like. I just wanted something, and I didn't want it to the point where it was like, I feel like it's pretty illegible, but I like you could still, once you at least know the name and you're like, oh, I see it says Peacemaker. So like that's kind of what I was shooting for.
Yeah.
Like,
How about,
sorry.
yo. What's going on?
Yo,
How we
what's
doing?
Bro, my bad. We're a little late. We just woke up. Like,
You're you're good. We got the time zones mixed up.
nah, it's all good. It's all good.
To be fair, your sound on my end sounds very good. It's just, so we don't need to. I could be wrong, but I think we're all set. So
Yeah, we're good.
Yes, yeah. We were just talking about logos and how, you know, they can play such a big part in just, you know, you see a logo on a flyer and you can kind of immediately tell what kind of band they are, you know. Maybe you guys actually, do you guys mind introducing yourselves just so people know who's who?
All right, so I'm Aiden. I'm lead guitarist of VictimBlamed.
Gabe, I'm drums for VictimBlamed.
There we go. Hell yeah. Let's talk about y'all's logo. What's how'd that come about? Was there like something particular you guys were going for?
It was just we went through so many logos. So we had like our first EP was like, it had like a hardcore logo on it, but that was more like a hardcore band. So we had like that. Our first like actual like, I want to say like deathcore like style like logo was for our album, like our first album after the EP. So that one was like, but like the one we have now is kind of like an upgraded, more like spikier version of the last one. That's what we kind of like. I think it's gonna be like our official logo forever.
I think it kind of it coincides with the sound that you guys have been doing, right? Like it was more of a hardcore vibe ish, you know, on the older stuff, and now you guys are leaning, I feel, more and more into that like the old school deathcore kind of grindy sound, you know. So I feel the logos kind of reflect that, right?
Yeah, well, because at first we started off like as a beat down type of band. We didn't really know what we were trying to do, but we had like hints of deathcore, like tremolo picking, breakdowns, stuff like that. But it wasn't like full on deathcore. It was still like considered hardcore.
Yeah,
there's a lot of hardcore elements. So we were still trying to figure out like, okay, do we want to stay in the hardcore scene or do we want to keep going with the deathcore shit and like actually like full on pursue it? And like that's where we are now.
Safe to say, I think you guys fully pursued it. I could say that much. Our scene over here is really big on like hardcore and screamo. There's not really a lot of deathcore stuff. So hardcore over here is probably like a big influence on us, like coming up from where we are now. Yeah, where are y'all at? Where are you guys from?
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then Reverend, I'd love to toss it to you guys. What your guys' logo? Because your guys' logo is pretty particular. It's like I don't know how to say it. It's kind of like inverted. It's got like more. It's almost got more emptiness in it than it has lines. You know, it's like
the
three.
The homie from Disfigured, the bass player Dom, he just made us like a few, and then like he does all the Disfigured logos too, and we just asked him to make it. He just made it for free.
I mean, it turned out cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it.
I feel like the uniqueness of the logo is also important, right? Like if you look, like it needs to be memorable. So like, and to be fair, all of your logos does that, but I feel like we had for a long time, you know, the kind of bands and all of like, in respect, but like on big YouTube channels, they kind of have very similar kind of just like a brutal thing, but like it's not like you cannot really know. I feel like it's important that they're memorable, like that you remember like a shape or something. You were talking about Annotation and Autopsy. It's very memorable. It's like you see it, you know it. Like Signs of the Swarm, it's kind of a bug thing. Like you remember it. Like the most important thing is to make it memorable. Like I love logos that makes no sense. Like I love when it's not even symmetrical. It goes like this. Like I love just something all broken and it makes sense, but like as long as it's memorable, I feel like you're doing something right, you know, even if it's not readable. Memorable is
girls. I always thought their logo was sick too.
Yeah. It's kind of like kind of just super squiggly, like yeah.
Like Last 10, where it's just like it's like all over the place, but it their old logo, but it looks sick.
Yeah, I mean, flyer designers must hate the fuck out of those logos, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. I would know that.
Yeah, a logo that I really like that like is not around anymore. Like, do you guys know the first Suicide Silence logo? It's different a little bit. It's all like I love
Just like spikes, yeah.
Yeah, I love this thing. I really love like, and don't get me wrong, the one they're using it's sick. But like when I saw the first one, I'm like, I would like to have merch with this on. Like that's pretty sick. So like when you see a logo and you like it, you hope you're gonna like the band because you're like, that's so freaking sick. So like it's definitely something you need to think about. Like when you create your band, like you're gonna spend so much time on a name, right? But the logo is another very important thing. So
the worst part of starting a band, if you ask me, finding a fucking name.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, and the worst part is you think you have a name and you're like, that's so perfect, and then there's 20 different like bands with the name, but like they just started pages and there's not much going on, but you're like, it's kind of used. And
I'll be honest, I hate looking up Peacemaker because you got whatever movie or comic book or some shit with it. Where's that from? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we made it. It's legally Peacemaker FL. If anyone asks.
Yeah, and if you're just reading the logo, you probably can't tell either way. So you guys should be good.
Blah blah blah.
I feel like typing in Reverend is a pain in the ass because of the 3.
I actually like that though, because I honestly, if you're looking up Reverend and you know the 3's in there, if you just typed Reverend normally, you would probably find 1,000 other search results before finding the band. But because of the 3, you find it right away. So I actually don't mind the 3 personally.
Yeah, I think it's dope.
Number in the number in there makes it cool too, because you can use that for merch and stuff like.
Yeah, I could see the 3 being kind of like not an emblem, but you know, like an icon thing you guys could use, right? Like.
For me, it's more a pain in the ass because like I sometimes forget that we have a 3. So I put an E on accident.
I think it's sick, personally.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool because it reminded me, like, we're calling it MySpace Deathcore, right? And many people, we would use a 4 as an A, we would use like a 3 as an E. Like, we would do all these things back then, or at least I did it many times, you know, like, I can even go back to freaking MSN nicknames, like, because we're old as shit. So, like, we used to do that as well. But, like, it's when I saw the number, I'm like, that's also a good you know, kind of nostalgic thing. That's how I perceived it. So it worked, you know.
Helps to Noah. Pretty sure he's the one that came up with it.
That's sick.
Good idea.
What's I'd love to go around and maybe talk about some influences. Just because I'd be curious if a lot of y'all's influences like kind of purely some of these older bands. Like, did you guys listen to those older bands when you guys were like way younger? Is it all kind of new for you? Do you guys also listen to modern? I'm just curious what the general vibe is with influences with everyone here. Maybe we can start with Victim Blamed.
So, like influences on the band or just on us in general?
Yeah, for the band. Yeah, I'd be curious.
So, I would say our influences would be like By Blood and Iron, OG Suicide Silence, maybe a little bit of Knock Loose, maybe for like our earlier stuff. Some of that, Body Snatcher, Angel Maker. Fuck, there's some other ones that our vocalist knows, but our vocalist is a big hardcore guy, so a lot of like our breakdowns are very like hardcore, like infused, I would say.
Yeah.
But
which has always been a huge part of the older like MySpace deathcore sound, right? So as far as
MySpace bands, probably like a different Breed of Killer.
Hell yeah.
A Bloodbath in Boston, Dying Arms, you know, all the OG shit like that. That's a lot of like what we like kind of like get inspiration off of when it comes to writing our music.
Yeah, because did you guys kind of, I'm assuming some of the influences shift around, right? When you guys kind of took it more into a deathcore focused route, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. How about you guys, Peacemaker?
Definitely, OG Suicide Silence, As Blood Runs Black, Acacia Strain, Whitechapel, all that stuff. Definitely like a little bit of, Body Snatcher. We were definitely around for like the Body Snatcher, Traders, Black Tongue.
Yeah.
So, like we do like some slow and low, but for this
a lot
project,
of those bands outside of Black Tongue, those bands are all from your area ish, right? Like Florida.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, for this project particularly, like old school Suicide Silence, Carnifex, Chelsea Grin, all that stuff, everything from that era, pretty much.
That's cool. And how about you guys, Reverend?
So I really am kind of more new to the band, so I'm not too sure about exactly what they were going for with the first couple songs. Obviously, like
what the fuck were they doing?
Yeah, I know that this guy right here and a lot of them though are definitely OG Suicide Silence listeners, obviously. And I would say definitely Chelsea Grin because a lot of our songs have weird patterns, and that's a big thing on like Desolation of Eden. I think we all definitely listen to those on repeat. Definitely Bring Me the Horizon as well, and like Torn Within, things like that. Yeah. So a bunch of just OG deathcore stuff with those high for eyes and lows. Demolisher too, Recon. There's so many guys.
When I hear Demolisher, I'm happy.
Yeah, just breakdowns.
Oh
That's
my god!
Right here. He's got the real music taste.
Grew up liking like old Asking Alexandria and Attack like when I was younger, like in middle school, and then kind of that inspired me to play drums. Like the China cymbal was like the first time I heard it, and then the old Bring Me the Horizon, the old Chelsea Grin. Then I got into like Suicide Silence. Started off with like Slayer and stuff like that, like System of a Down. But Noah just writes most of the heavy stuff. I just go along with it.
There we go. Well, I mean, speaking of all these old bands, maybe Mark, you can talk to us a little bit about that Knoxville show you guys have coming up and the whole Whitechapel thing, the release that happened there and stuff like that.
Yeah, so initially our Knoxville show was at Brickyard, and unfortunately they're closing. But someone reached out to me and that's from that area and was like, yo, there's a community center that every so often they'll do shows at. And Whitechapel released the Somatic Defilement. They did like the release show there. So I reached out to them and like they responded through the email and were like, yeah, like we rent the community center out for this much. So we put the deposit down and it's got Restricted, Needle Breather, Poser, and then the actually it's just Peacemaker and Rev3rent. VictimBlamed is only doing the Texas dates. But
yeah.
The event page is looking pretty good, and a lot of people are sharing it around. There's been like 3 different remakes of the flyer, just people hyped for the show, like trying to spread the word and stuff.
You told me about a remake of the flyer, and then like an hour later, I saw another remake of the flyer. I was like, was this the one? No, it's another one.
Yeah, it's a different one. I was like, what the hell, dude? But it's pretty sick to see, especially because none of these bands have done tours as far as I know, and for all of us to be this new and this many people that are just strangers hyping it up, like it's really sick to see. It's definitely flattering for sure.
Yeah, and this is like a community center, right? It's like a floor show type deal.
Like a rec center, like you can like rent it out. It's like it's like an open space, and there's like
just
a bathroom.
Big empty room. Yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of Tennessee.
Yeah, we had to find a sound guy.
Yeah, got it.
Do they even have a sound rig there, or do you have to rent it out?
Oh, it's an empty room.
Basically an empty room. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, some of the best shows are that kind of vibe, like the fucking like ground level on the floor, like kind of small ass like PA system that you had to bring out. Like I don't know, some of the special some of those shows. I don't know. That's the sort of stuff that makes it special ultimately, especially with like heavy music. I find.
Definitely, he knows. Like my first show, actually, he booked part of it. Was Desolation Fest in Inglewood at the skate park pavilion, and I'm talking like 300-400 kids at a free show at a pavilion at a skate park
In the summer.
in the summer in fucking 90-degree weather.
If I can do that shit now.
I mean, was it you guys, Reverend, that just did a show in a skate park like a weekend ago?
It was disfigured, yeah.
Oh, that was disfigured. I saw all those stories being shared around. How it was like the venue bailed like the day of type thing. They relocated to an outdoor skate park show
Like a
for free,
generator
and it was
and all
fucking
that.
insane. Yeah, it looked fucking insane.
Yeah, that was sick.
Trying to have a show in the middle of nowhere, with just a generator.
Yeah,
the hell of it.
and like trying to figure it out all the day of that too. You're kind of like, oh shit.
Some Skatopia shit.
But Victim Blamed, you guys shot a music video, right? Like in the last couple days?
Yeah, we shot for like 6 hours, like 2 days ago.
And went to like 10.
At some like abandoned like brewery place, big ass like building. There's like homeless people in there, like chilling, doing meth. It's crazy.
How'd the shoot go? Because I saw some footage. It seemed to be like, because you guys had some stuff that was more like an abandoned building vibe, but then there was also like a show type thing, right, with a bunch of people.
So we had 2 scenes. The ones at the abandoned warehouse, we got like solo shots, the full band shots, and then when it turned nighttime, we like got like these crazy ass like shots in like the back of this warehouse. We're like standing in the middle, and there's like these red lights and like white lights. But the show that we did like the other day, it was wild.
Packed as shit, dude.
It was
I don't know
wild.
how many people were there, but that looked insane.
We basically sold out the whole thing. They weren't letting anybody in anymore, so we sold out that venue. But dude, like it was just crazy seeing everybody jump like to the intro. It was just fucking insane. I was like, whoa. Yeah, it was crazy. It tripped me out a little bit. I was like, damn, like this many people like really fuck with us like that. It's crazy.
And did you guys film that too? Like, was that a part for the music videos? Okay. I was wondering if it was just a show or if it was for the film.
No, it was pretty fun doing it. I'm not gonna lie. Our first time like actually like being with a filmer and like doing recording.
It was a pain in the ass. Like the whole process was horrible. But like now I'm like looking back like, damn, that was actually fun. And it's all gonna be worth it.
Yeah, it's pretty worth it. Like we're seeing little like clips of the music video. We're like, damn.
Well, I think also videos is a very good thing because like we see so many. It's cool. We have a lot of songs, right? A lot of new deathcore songs every day. But like I feel like lyric videos, I mean, we see that so many times. That like a video is more of like, oh shit, like it's a good way to just like show how crazy you can be, right? With like how you move,
show the vibe, right?
Yeah, showing you the vibe, because a lyric video with kind of a horror thing with like lyrics appearing, like we saw that so many times. I still watch them, to be fair, but like videos, it gets people more.
I've stopped watching lyric videos because most of the time the lyrics are fucking dog shit, and I'm like, I can't. I rather not know.
Yeah, like
I rather not understand the lyrics. It's chill. I dig the music. Don't ruin this for me.
But I'm kind of an old school person in that way. Like I don't mind if it's just logo, white on black, the whole song. I'm totally fine with it. Like I prefer this, I think. Like I'd rather see like just your album thing just with the song. I'm okay with that. For me, it's like this or the video. Like lyric video, I'm like, okay, but like I'm also like the old school thing, just your logo, the song, everything I need, gonna put in the background, like type thing. So but a video, to me, it gets me more excited. Like a video of a band, like I'm always like, you see their universe, you see what they're about, you see what they're going for. I feel like, but yeah, it's a lot of work. Like with my channel, like I'm seeing the production, I see the amount of work, I see the behind the scenes of all those bands. People don't know, like they think you go there an hour, you do a video. It's a lot of work, like a lot of things to figure out, a lot of things that don't go according to the plan. Also, like it doesn't, like, oh, we could do that, maybe it doesn't work. It's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it. I still think it's worth it. Yeah.
Just know that most video shoots are kind of ass. It's got, you put the time in, you play too many times, you get worn the fuck out. But you know that's kind of what you got to do to get the cool results. So I'm sure it's gonna. From what I've seen, because I saw some of the snippets you guys posted, it's looking to turn out cool. So I'm excited to see it for sure.
Well, I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous to put it out. A little anxious to see it all, see how it looks. But we're excited.
Peacemaker, you guys just did a vinyl drop like yesterday, right?
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's like 170 sold, and I'm like, who are these people? But
yeah, we're about half sold out already, I think.
That's sick. And the alt variant like sold out super fucking quick too, right?
I don't even know how quick. Probably it was the first thing gone. Like,
yeah, I want to say like within 2 hours those were gone. There was 100 of them. It was sick though, because my last band we worked with Corey that did that design, and I really wanted to do something with him for this, and then Spencer from Deathly Decibels was like, yo, we should get Corey to do the alternative artwork. So I was like, definitely. And we just pretty much gave him creative control. We're like, something that kind of follows the EP cover. But yeah, he killed it, and that shit looked crazy. Seems like everyone fucked with it. But
I love the pink personally. That's my thing. Yeah.
I think I just wrote a comment. It was written like "what" in capitals. I was just like, that's exactly the best merch for me. Like I felt targeted by the merch. I was like, I need to wear it.
Made for you. That's what's up. Yeah, the shirt is awesome too, because he, like you said, he did the like purplish pink, and it looks really sick. Definitely fits that style for sure.
It's the best to me, the best contrast. You have this brutal logo, but in the flashy color. I'm just like, that's just perfect. That's just badass, you know? Like I saw the post, I think like very recently, I was like, I'm going to have to get it. Spending too much on these things.
Work with that guy more.
Yo, Rev3rent, how many songs do you guys play live?
We usually play a 5 to 6 set.
Okay. So we got some unreleased songs mostly on this set.
Yeah.
What's going on with recordings? When are we getting some new stuff from you guys?
Putting him on the spot right now.
Mm-hmm. What was the question? When are you guys putting out some new music?
We're planning on dropping it on the 17th on the show with Gorilla Glass.
Hey, okay.
We'll
What are we talking about? A song or like a release type thing?
The 6-song EP.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. We'll also be dropping with some cassettes and CDs.
There we go. You heard it here first.
We have merch.
Just bought a screen printer.
That's sick. Okay, so you guys are doing some of the printing yourself.
Yeah, same with the CDs and cassettes. I mostly do all that. And
that's cool.
I wanted to talk about live performance as well, because from what I've seen, like, and this is what I like to see, like you guys are going crazy, right? Like moving and doing stuff. Like I just wanted to know if it's something that comes naturally, or if it's like a thing you were like, is it like a band thing, like guys we need to go or you didn't have to say it and it's like you're going crazy live and you're moving? Because there's this thing in deathcore now, I'm not saying nobody's performing well, but like there's this thing where people are just like, you know, playing music, not moving as much as back in the days, but you guys are exactly, you know, moving and going crazy. So is that just something that comes naturally is my question, I guess. Took me 20 minutes to ask, but.
Well, yeah, so I feel like, especially with our type of music and stuff, the biggest thing is having stage presence. You gotta hype everything up. You can't just be standing there, you know? So, not only that, but I think, you know, I enjoy playing our stuff so much that I just go crazy when we're up there. It's like when we start playing, I just go crazy. Yeah, as crazy as I can.
I mean, it's never fun
I
to
want to have that choreography though too, so it looks good.
it's you know, it's never fun to see a band where everyone's just standing still.
I mean,
I feel like if they're like 2-step and then they're just standing still, it's like
Yeah, you got to show them how to do it. Yeah.
gotta
We
put
only
the energy
played one
in.
show though, so
That shit was tragic, low key, man.
Got burnt
Tragic.
out. Someone got
PAs, we had a fight, we had everybody
Yeah.
leave.
they
It
got
was like
burnt
a
out with like 3 bands.
Some dude
in.
got jumped like 50v1. That shit was crazy.
What? Twice, and he got back up.
It was crazy.
Oh no.
Bro, he was drunk, guys.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Excuses everything.
No, but I mean, usually how it goes, if I'm honest, like usually if there's like 1% and something happened, usually somebody is drinking out of these people. But it's, yeah, I'm asking that because like that's something that I miss. Like I know I can't shut up about Mitch Locker. I keep bringing him up in every single thing I'm doing, but like his stage presence was like for me the perfect example of a freaking vocalist and like how to move on the stage and everything. So like to me it should come with deathcore. Like I'm not saying you need to go crazy the whole time, but like it's strange to me because if you don't feel your own vibe, who's gonna feel it? Like if you don't, like you're playing these rivers you're supposed to be excited about and you're just like I don't understand. Like I can't even record vocals being like this. Like so for me, like I look like a freaking stupid person as I'm recording vocals when nobody sees me. So like I feel like it's an important thing. Like people go to these shows, especially the tour you guys are doing. People are going there with the mindset of like it's gonna be crazy, you know. So I feel like it's important. I feel like it's a big part of like we call it a show for a reason. Like you need to, you know, out of breath doing the
Man, Mitch Locker was scary.
dude.
That's the biggest goal. We want people to be scared when we come up on stage.
Like imagine playing after this guy. Like I'm trying to picture, like let's say in the early days they're opening and you're playing after. I would be like, as a vocalist, I would be like, well yeah.
Dude, that's what some of these newer bands are doing. I feel like because you know we had, let's say you know, like a Psycho Frame opening up some tours. Dude, I don't want to play after Psycho Frame. I wouldn't want to be like the band that has to follow them up, you know, and he's been opening these tours and stuff. So that's kind of like, it goes, yeah, the music is one thing, but they do have like good stage presence too. So it's just kind of like, yeah, when we got to make music scary again, especially live. You know?
I think it's part of it.
Scary is the right word.
Like, obviously, as a person, they come to you after, you talk at your merch table, be cool and nice at that moment. But when you're on stage, though, like, honestly, just freaking go with your music, look like a psychopath. Because in real, like, people usually the way they argue is like, yeah, but we need to play well. Nobody gives a shit if you miss a note. Like the truth of it, like seriously, like there's gonna be like 2 guitar players in the room being like, but like the whole room, like it's better to go crazy and not be perfect. Like let's just make it very clear. Nobody cares. Like as long as you're giving a show, of course, if you miss everything, that could be kind of bad, but like as long as you go crazy and you feel it, everything is forgivable. Like little notes here and there, like nobody's expecting vocals, by the way, to be perfect the whole time. Like if sometimes like you go crazy, it sounds a bit different, who cares? Like as long, I want to see a band that goes crazy. That's my thing. Like I prefer that. Like who cares if you miss a note?
Like,
you know?
Have you ever seen early Norma Jean, Jan?
Dude, yeah, well, not myself live, but like it in videos and shit. I did
all those bands, like the early, like the Converge and like
even Divorce
Dillinger and stuff like that. Yeah,
2006.
a lot of these bands that had a little bit more of a mathcore-ish vibe to them, like went fucking crazy live.
Part of the mathcore where they're having like seizures on stage and shit.
I think
Carrie
was still the best ever with the stage presence. It's unmatched.
Chariot, yeah.
The Chariot, yeah. So it's a similar kind of thing. Yeah, we had So some of the earlier kind of metalcore bands too had like crazy.
Ori.
Yeah. Yo. What's good, man? Well, we got the flashing lights in here.
All right, baby, it was good, y'all. It was good, y'all.
I have a seizure over here.
How you doing, man?
I'm chilling. I just woke up, bro.
You're good. You're good
with
man.
us.
You said what?
I just said you can wake up with us. It's all it's all good.
Yeah.
We'll be your morning coffee.
Yeah, bro, I'm excited.
Oh yeah. Well, do you mind introducing yourself and what you do, just so people in chat know?
All right, I'm Corey. I'm 16 years old, and I do vocals for VictimBlamed.
Crazy good vocals for what it's worth. Those high pitch and those things, dude. Honestly, we were just talking about stage presence, how important it is, right? To go crazy when you play and stuff like that. And I think we all agree. Like, I think we're obviously all on the same page here. I would have been surprised if somebody's like, doesn't matter, you know. But still, it's one of those things when it started. You know, if you think about early Suicide Silence, obviously with Mitch, even like early Whitechapel, Oceano, all those bands were fairly scary. Early Chelsea Grin, even, I would say, like, dude, it was 100%. It was just part of it. I was expecting that.
The 3 guitarists was so sick. That's why we have 3.
Yeah, it was awesome. Something that I miss.
You know, funny thing is, Austin had joined up on Rev3rent, because pretty much of the podcast, the last one that we're on here.
Really? How come?
What?
How so?
Yeah, he found out through.
I found out about Rev3rent. Yeah, my vocalist in my other band, Okigahara, that I'm in. We do like slam and deathcore and stuff. We're really into that stuff. So he was listening to your guys' podcast, the Brutality podcast, and you guys were talking about Rev3rent, and he showed me them as well. And so I was just listening forever, and I loved the music. And I was gonna go to a show and stuff, and I was hitting him up, and Mario has broke his hand. He had a quad accident.
Okay.
And they asked me if I could possibly learn 5 songs in 2 days. So I came over, and me and Noah just kind of meshed, and we just spent all night learning songs and played that show in Vegas. And it was cool. Everybody just vibed. And
so then you went from 2 to 3 guitarists from there, more than just the fill-in.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's really cool to hear though, because
that's the biggest compliment for us.
That's really, really fucking cool for us to hear. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Like we kind of, I don't know. We just do this because we want people to learn about other music and stuff. And if we can get people connected in some way or another, like most of the time it's just bringing people fans of a particular genre together, not necessarily like band members. That's probably a first for us. So that's really cool, man.
I was in Missouri when I found out too. My parents moved to Missouri in early January. And I had just started really getting going. I've only been into this stuff for like a year now, like really into the whole music scene and heavy music at all. And I moved back when I turned 18 kind of for the band, and just kind of everything I had was here. So it's cool that like I moved back and got going, and now this is going and tour, and it's just everything's working out. It's so sick.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
It's amazing to hear too, because like honestly, when I started my channel, my biggest goal, like I do these videos like every week, and what I notice is that bands had a hard time with like the labels. You need to pay for everything, exposure and stuff like that. My biggest goal with my channel was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to like promote like the newest bands, like things that I'm stoked about, not charging a single thing, just like being about the music. So when I met them and we did this whole thing, our biggest goal was that. So like sponsoring the tour, doing these things, like that's the biggest thing we wanted to do is being, even if we're super old now, was to be, to help and to be part of it. So like every time we hear those things like, oh, I discovered this band, or like people writing to me saying, hey, I know about Elysia because of your video. I'm like, that's so freaking cool. But like to hear that is the biggest confirmation for us, right? Like that's the whole point of what we do. So
also, thank you to Peacemaker, VictimBlamed, and you guys for getting us on the tour. Like, and Texas is gonna be lit because VictimBlamed, they got everybody out there going crazy. So thanks.
People are stoked for you guys, by the way. Like when I posted the promo video, I cannot count the amount of comments of like VictimBlamed, ZOV, VictimBlamed, like the stories, everything. I was like, oh my freaking God, all these things, and it was crazy. Like Victim, Reverend, and like when I did the video, I knew there was a hype, but when I did that, I'm like, okay, there's definitely like both on YouTube, on Instagram, like people were messaging me, oh shit, those guys and stuff. So like it's awesome to see like there's like this new wave couldn't be more welcome than that. I think like it's like a proof of concept. People are just like, thank God we were waiting for that. So it's so sick to see.
It's pretty crazy to me. It's kind of like I can't believe it type of thing. You know what I mean? Like people actually like our music, and like a lot of people everywhere like our music is what I'm saying. And it's just like a little like shocking to me. I'm like, damn, like I don't know how we even got here that fast. It's kind of happened.
Gotta take advantage of it, man. Enjoy it.
We are. Definitely.
Yeah. It's and the funny thing is that it's something that a lot of people were thinking, right? When we would talk about Psycho Frame, like to me it was like, okay, that's the new deathcore. I kind of want, I want to hear stuff like that. But like it's kind of a proof that a lot of people wanted old school stuff. Like the tour working so well, Reverend, Peacemaker, all you guys, like it's just a proof of like so many people wanted that for a long time. Like we missed I don't want to call, real deathcore because like I don't want to be that guy, but like that's kind of the what I have as a term, like with all due respect to the newer bands. But
yeah, I feel like you're right about that with like the older deathcore sound. It's definitely a lot more raw and more aggressive, and I feel like that type of music is way more like it's a lot more fun to hear live. And like to get down in the pit, like it's a lot more intense than I would say like hearing like some more like the modern bands live. You know what I mean?
It's not the same experience at all. Yeah. Like and I feel like sorry, I keep hearing. Am I cutting somebody? I don't want to cut you guys off. Like I keep doing that. Okay.
Oh, good. No, I was just saying it's just more like mosh oriented,
Yeah, like, am I wrong? I feel like because you guys all have like strong hardcore roots also in your bands, and I feel like it's a big part of it, right? Like, I mean, two steps, like Sam parts, like even the way the
gang chants, the build-ups, the breakdowns, all the sort of things that we talk about all the time that don't really exist in the modern era of deathcore that much, But
let's be real. I think those might be the best part of a show, like that people go.
It's definitely show oriented for sure. Those are the things that's like all the crowd interaction, right? That's like wanting to hop up and jump up on the mic to scream the part, or to be like all around the vocalist, like chanting a part, and like build up to a breakdown. You're like anticipating the breakdown, like all that sort of stuff is all show oriented. Like it's cool to hear in headphones, but it's made for the show, and we kind of lost that, I think. So it kind of makes sense now with, this sort of revival. Like it makes sense that it goes crazy live,
I love the group vocals, like in our song "If I Die First," to put the gun. And everybody says it live. It's so cool.
You can't not say it, right? Like if you know it, you're saying it live, like for sure.
You hear the whole show do it. Everybody starts jumping. It's cool.
I think that's the part I put in the video.
Everybody here, because like it's so cool that like just the whole everything, like with the revival, just the whole scene itself, that everybody's a part of it and that it's a thing just at all. It's so awesome. I'm glad to be a part of it. So for sure, I definitely just want to say thank you guys.
Oh yeah,
dude.
My bad.
No, go for it.
gave me chills, man, hearing everyone
so many
chant
of us.
along to it. Like, I don't know, it feels awesome to hear everyone chant like something that you made, like with just you and your homie in like their bedroom, you know what I mean? It's surreal.
Yeah, it's and I was talking about the hardcore parts because like what I've noticed also is that as much as the breakdown is forever going to be my favorite part, like you might have noticed. I mean, I did promotions for you guys. It's basically 5 breakdowns in a row. Like I'm that person who really enjoys breakdowns, but at the same time, you know, I'm trying to picture for somebody who goes, let's say someone is going to a date during the tour and they're not that much tuned in what it, you know, exactly what to do during the breakdowns. It's not everybody who's going to go in the pit, right? Like to mosh and everything, but the hardcore parts, at least they can be, you know, at least they're going to like kind of vibe with like the 2 steps and everything. So that's kind of what I love about it. Like if you go to like it's not in deathcore, but like August Burns Red, you know, like you watch people in the crowd and during the riff they don't really know what to do, but as soon as there's like a breakdown or something that can go like this, you can see that like people are hyping. So for sure the blast beats are cool and important, but like if you think about somebody outside of it that goes with friends to a show, they might not, you know, they won't go in the pit, they don't really know what it is, but anybody on the freaking planet, if you hear a good 2-step, at least you're gonna be like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I feel like the hardcore parts are very important also to introduce people, or kind of just at least people can vibe to it, you know. That's my take. So
what's y'all's local scenes looking like in terms of this style of music? Is because I know like a lot of the sound is kind of all around the south of the US. Like most of the bands are all kind of coming out from like Florida, Texas, and like Cali. That's where it's kind of going. How is it for you guys in the local scenes? Do you guys have a lot of other bands doing a similar sound coming up and stuff like that? How do you guys see it? Maybe we can start with Peacemaker.
Honestly, no, it's more like hardcore and screamo and like emo violence, that type of stuff is really like popular over here. Well,
popping over here.
The only I feel like the only deathcore bands we got in Texas are like Gorilla Glass and Us. I haven't heard.
Big Shots in Dallas is cool too. I think they're from Texas now.
Oh, bro, you guys got a lot. Destroy All Humans, Katie Went Missing. There's that Apparitions band. However you say it.
Apparitions, maybe.
Yeah, it's spelled different, but
I don't know. It's spelled.
yeah, I mean like a lot of them on that Houston show, but even there's that Six Shots in Dallas band.
Yeah, they're hard.
That's my favorite one right now. They're fucking insane.
Shout out to them.
But yeah, Texas, California, and really like Florida, and then up in like the tri-state area, like I'm seeing, because like I'm not exactly sure where Flame Witch is from, but I know there's somewhere in that area.
Northeast.
There's like the Queen Guillotined.
Yeah, that's true. There's a few bands like around like Boston area, New Hampshire, that sort of area.
But it's cool. They keep popping up like all out of the woodwork. So eventually we'll get back to where it's like the norm. It's like this style of deathcore. Yeah.
Do you think that's where it's headed? Like kind of this kind of subgenre of deathcore kind of taking over at some point?
100%. I think honestly, because like obviously we're gonna have Lorna Shore is gonna be at the top. Like all those bands are gonna Body Snatcher, Distant, like they're all gonna stay where they're at. But I think like, and I'm not really like saying this so much about ourselves, so I don't want this to sound like big headed, but I think like you're looking at the future of deathcore. Like I think RV3rent, VictimBlamed, Slamwich, like all these bands are going to be the
style as a whole, I guess,
band getting signed to major labels, and you know, like really what it is like a lot of these bands. I know VictimBlamed just shot their music video, and but like once a lot of these bands get like music videos out and stuff, like and I feel like that just opens the door for like so many more people to like check your band out. But I really
too. I think touring's a huge part of it, right?
Touring too.
Yeah,
like
of course.
it's sick that you're seeing like these. I know Tracheotomy, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Gorilla Glass, like they're about to do that tour.
Yeah.
And they're our tour. Like I've seen Slamwich and Lilith's Demise did a tour. Like a lot of these kind of tours are popping up, and then the head count at them is crazy because everyone's like missed this style so long. Like you said, like the gang chants, the dog piling, like people miss that about shows.
Yeah, that's completely true. The way I see it is, you know, back then when Suicide Silence was there, Whitechapel and stuff like that, they were looking up, and bands like Dying Fetus would give them a lot of exposure by playing with them and stuff like that. So I feel like now where we're at is, and it makes me feel extremely old, but like Lorna Shore and those bands are kind of what Dying Fetus was back then, and you guys are the new whatever. Like I don't want to call it new Suicide Silence, but like you are what?
Well, it's funny because Psychoframe was on part of that Dying Fetus tour, but you know.
Yeah, but like whatever. So like, and obviously Dying Fetus is still relevant and stuff, but like what I mean is that I can see that that's the new wave, and like Lorna and those bands are something different that shines light on the wave, but like. I can agree. Like I can see that, like Psychoframe, Let Its Demise, as you said. Like I can definitely see that people are hype with it. So
well, the shows don't lie, right? And I think that's kind of to kind of add to your point, Mark. You know, it's like you kind of look at the footage of all these shows from, again, you know, like all these younger bands that just fucking popped up, right? We're not talking about bands that have been around for 10 years. Like slowly like getting fans and then eventually having like a big fan base. We're talking about these super new bands that have really fucking big hype. And it's hard to ignore that, right? So when you are maybe a band that's bigger, that's in a position to bring some like quote unquote smaller bands out and stuff, and you look at like bands like you guys that draw a lot of fucking people because people are here for the style, it just kind of makes sense, right? Like I think that sort of stuff is going to start bubbling more and more. It's cool to see with Psychoframe and Tracheotomy right now, but I think they're just like the first of many to kind of catch on to doing the bigger tours and stuff as well, you know?
Yeah,
definitely, man. And like I know I've seen you guys talk about this on previous episodes, but like it's kind of weird because like the history of death metal, like the bands support deathcore, but like the fans very much so do not, a lot of them. Mm-hmm. But it's weird because like back in the day, like if you remember like Terror, Madball, and then like you said, Dying Fetus, because those are hardcore bands. And it's kind of the same way, like a lot of the hardcore scene doesn't really fuck with the deathcore scene, I feel like. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, it's like you'd see Terror, Madball, Dying Fetus, like Death, like Obituary, like actual death metal bands and actual hardcore bands on bills with straight up deathcore bands. So it's like, really, I think if we could get to mutual grounds where like the three genres are kind of like cool with each other, you know, mm-hmm. And doing more tours together, I feel like it would really help things get back to how it was back in the day. Because really, like a lot of those kids, I feel like if they came out to the shows, they might not like it on recording, but they'd realize there's a lot more like mutual elements and stuff. But
well, especially, I mean, look, deathcore is probably as big as it's ever been right now, right? Just like deathcore as a whole, right? So even if you're just pairing the old school deathcore sound with what's modern deathcore right now, I think that's like to begin with, just such an easier way to connect to bigger bands and stuff, right? Like, cause y'all are already playing like a similar type of music to begin with, but it's cool to, again, you know, like to bring back to like Psychoframe doing that like Full of Hell Dying Fetus tour. Like that's totally like left field. They recently did the Knocked Loose CD release show, you know, like stuff like that. So it's like, we're seeing like older, like that old style of deathcore being thrown onto more modern stuff. So I think it's just the beginning for all that sort of stuff.
you were talking about, you know, the death metal fans and what they say. Like, it made me laugh so much when I posted you guys, you know, the video, and someone said everything with core in the name is not considered metal, and my answer was, who cares? Like, literally, like, who freaking cares about, honestly, even, oh, you guys are not metal, okay.
Neckbeards on the internet, that's the only people who care.
Yep. It's always funny to me, you know, so important for them to like discredit, but you're just like, I don't care. Like, it is what it is. It's still heavy, even if you don't call us metal.
Look, I would have understood that a little bit more, you know, in 06, 07, when everybody from the outside kind of hated on deathcore, but like in 2024, you know, the year of the Lorna Shore, like, nah, we're good. It's chill, you know, like.
Yeah.
Don't call it metal if you don't want to. It's totally fine. You know, who cares? But it's funny because, as you said, all the bands, they don't care about that stuff, like, at all. Like, they're just like, call us what you want. It's heavy, you know? Like, that's something, though. Like, nobody can tell me it's not heavy. So,
yeah.
Well, what do you, to kind of add on to that, I guess, like, what do you guys see? Because I think a lot of this new wave is, and, you know, this is ironic coming from two dudes in their 30s, but a lot of this new wave is kind of spearheaded and like by younger people, and the people going out to the shows, it seems like is a relatively young crowd as well. Do you think there's like some, like, how does that factor into, you know, the revival, and why does it appeal to the youth like so much? Like, why is there so much hype around it with younger kids? Do you guys have any insight on that?
I think that if you were to ask me, it would be a lot of social media, because of how big social media is and just how many kids nowadays, just everybody's on social media and stuff. So anything, Instagram, TikTok, all that type of stuff, if it just starts to blow up a little bit, everybody in that type of a scene is gonna definitely attract to that, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you guys see a lot of it on TikTok too? I'm like I'm boomer over here, fully off of TikTok. Do you guys see the impact there too?
No, I see it more on Instagram.
Definitely
see it more on TikTok than Instagram, like the shows.
Yeah,
there's been like
mainly our follower from TikTok. There was like one video that blew up. That's really what got us like most of our followers.
Yeah, I think I first ever seen
okay.
VictimBlamed on TikTok, actually, when they did like that Larion cover or whatever.
Yeah.
I seen that. I thought that was pretty sick. That's how I first found out about them. And then I seen Don't Party
TikTok's
with the
crazy.
I mean, there's been times where I'll come out of a show and then not even like 2 hours later, I'll see the same show posted on TikTok.
Exactly.
It's trippy.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think I need to look into TikTok more, but I feel like I've been trying to navigate trying to find these specific things. Like if my feed was full of MySpace deathcore, I'd be all about it, but that's not what it's been given me, so I got to figure something out.
It goes based off what you react to. I found out this thing, they say if you make it a goal to react to 20 videos a day that are in your niche, like eventually you'll get to where it's a good way to go up in followers, and you'll get to where like your algorithm is in that niche. So, I mean, but TikTok's crazy, man. Like once you get in the algorithms, like it gives people careers. I mean, look at, look at Distant, look at Left to Suffer, like a lot of those bands, not to
Lorna Shore, right?
Or anything, but yeah, Lorna Shore, like same thing. Like once you get blown up on TikTok and everyone sees you, like, I mean, it's the same thing. It's no different from like blowing up on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, whatever. It's just another platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I mean, social media. I do think though that there has to be something about like the energy of this style of deathcore that maybe resonates more with people that are younger, as opposed to all these deathcore bands now that are doing it that are mostly people that have been doing it that are older, and that's kind of where you see the I don't want to say that the newer deathcore is like stale, but like there's that energy that's maybe lacking that we're seeing a lot of in a lot of these newer bands from the revival scene. Would you guys kind of agree with that?
Absolutely. Like it is a youthful genre for sure. And like, I feel like most of the people, cause like we're closer to your guys' age. Like I'm 29.
It's just like, let's not talk about it.
I feel better.
Some of the other bands
But
are
yeah, for perspective.
close to our age and stuff. But it's like, I think most of us are here because we were there for like the first wave of it. So like, it is youthful, like a lot of the lyrics and stuff, like even just like the way it's kind of, you know, like I feel like a lot of the modern bands, like they're super big on like, oh, like I don't want to say overproduction, but just like, you know, a lot of production, like make it sound like a movie or something, where like this genre, it's like make it sound raw and aggressive and just like heavy, really. And like that's the thing, is like I feel like a lot of the younger kids don't care about like all the extra shit. It's just like I just want to have something I can vibe to and like go see live and fucking pop off with my friends. So I think it will always have a bit of a youthful, I mean, moshing, like, you know, when you get older, you can't get fucking beat up by everyone all the time. So
Nope. I don't mosh anymore. I can attest to that. I'm not the kid I used to be with my Chelsea Grin hoodie, my shorts. It was written like "get the fuck up," and I was ready to mosh. Now I'm the dude relaxing. I'm wondering what they serve to drink. I'm like, oh, maybe a coffee. I'm like the old person at the shows now. But I feel like you're totally right about that. By the way, like it's definitely youthful, and it goes with the same conversation we had about the energy on stage, right? Like it makes sense that after 35 years, you're just like, I'm gonna play my guitar and just like, you know, take it a little bit easier. But like with the raw production, I feel like it's also closer to the live experience, since it's not that overproduced. Like you kind of get the same vibe on the album. Of course, it's Crazy Your Life, but it might be closer to, and it's probably something that people enjoy as well. Like it's closer to the experience.
Definitely. I think with the vocals too is a big part of it, because it's like, obviously, like I'm not going to knock any of the new bands. Like a lot of the new shit they're doing with like the tunnel throat and stuff is sick. But it's like with this particular genre, because it's based off like, it's got a lot of hardcore roots, and like hardcore is about like sending the message, while a lot of these songs might be more on like, you know, lighthearted and like not so literal and just kind of like following like the heavy vibe. It's like when you hear, it's like the production's not there, so you really hear like like Victim Blame, like your guys' highs. It's like you can hear the fucking emotion. It's like the slight choppiness like in the throat and on the highs. It's like that's kind of what gives it its character. Is like it sounds fucking pissed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, it's true that it's crazy though. There's a reason why I specifically choose the part that you hear those high pitched vocals in the video. I'm like, there's no way I'm not including that. Like it's freaking gnarly. And as much as I also love sometimes like tunnels and stuff like that, it's true that in this new wave, it's more of an old school, like it fits the old school thing as well, right? Like super low, super
less vocal
highs,
Olympics, for sure.
Yeah, more of like just angriness and just like pissed off, just like in the emotion of things, which is, by the way, what I prefer personally in terms of.
I mean, look, sometimes, and I'd even argue most of the time, less is more. You know, like I'm a sucker for 2 good tones, maybe 3. You know, like it doesn't need to be like fucking, you know, going all over the place. And there's a time and a place for that, but I think in this, I think a lot of people are appreciating that in the revival sound, just kind of going back to basics and just a good high, a good low. And some of these bands doing 2 vocalists, like that's like another dynamic too. And it's not like crazy over the top, like, yeah, like the vocal gymnastics that we see a lot of nowadays.
And it goes to tell, because to me it's even more powerful. If you take Psycho Frame, like nobody on the planet's gonna tell me that it's not freaking hard. Like those like it's just crazy, those vocals. But they don't go in like 15 different layers. It's like you know, it's mostly focused on certain tones, but fits perfectly. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's more like, if you go super large, it can be good as a vocalist to show what you can do. But at the same time, to me, there's more personality when you choose your own tone, your own thing, and it's your thing, and you do it. To me, there's more. There's more to that, and there's a demand for that as well. Like, we keep having those. There's a reason why we keep talking about it. People are there for it. So they're both cool. I think it's cool also to go in different range. It's impressive. You know, you take somebody like Will Ramos, who can do literally every freaking kind of scream you can think about. I'm like, wow, that's freaking amazing. But as a listener, I want to hear just like those crazy high, those crazy lows, those like just, you know, this Mitch kind of thing, and Whitechapel and all these things is my vibe. And we see that in the new wave, and it's sick as hell, dude. So that's also
sure. What do you guys think about, like, I guess to kind of transition into maybe like some of the production for some of the newer sound, like what from like a raw production? Because okay, here's the thing. I think we back in the day, we also had a lot of shitty raw recordings, but they were actually shitty. And it kind of was a part of the sound, but like it like makes it that is now I listen to some of the shit and it's unbearable. Like it's not fun to listen to anymore.
It's like,
I feel like now we've gotten to a point, and I think you guys are all kind of conscious of this fact, that it's about getting like a raw, something that sounds raw without actually just being like a microphone in the middle of the room, you know, and like completely blowing everything out. So what do you guys think about maybe like the raw kind of production? Like, what's important in a raw production for you guys, or like what are you guys looking for? I'd be curious. We can talk about like the snare, like stuff like that. I'd be curious to just talk about like production a little bit with you guys.
Well, real quick, I'm curious as to like how Gorilla Glass did their stuff, because that sounds like you could play to someone and you'd think it was like made in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. The bass drops, dude. Those fucking like extended like.
The bass drop sells it, yeah, 100%. It like it makes it that you can't hear the rest of the track like while the bass drop starts. You know, it's like.
Dead ass. As long as the bass drop's good, we're good. Like bass drops and fucking pop snare. That's really all you need, and highs.
There's something about like the sound being like pretty compressed too, like everything kind of being really
punchy, kind
of like in your face. Yeah, like super punchy.
I feel their vocals is a big part too. Like I could be wrong, but like I feel
loud vocals in the mix.
Yes, the vocals are loud. Like I feel like now they're like with the big productions, they're trying, like it feels like everything is together. Like it's just like one big thing, and they're like it feels like they're making a point of like not being like too aggressive with your ears. Like okay, like everything is blending together, but what we actually like is these things, like to be surprising. The vocals very loud, separated from the mix, the bass drops and stuff. Like deathcore is about the surprise, so I feel like that's probably a big part of it, right? Like the vocals being loud is a big part of it. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ever listen to Tony Danza, Jan?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, for sure.
So you know how it's like very punchy and like in your face. I mean, they had everything at like 70 dB or something, like something crazy. Stuff like that is always so interesting to listen to compared to something that's like really overproduced. Like no hate if, you know, it's also nice to hear something that's like really clean.
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nice to hear something that's like, what the fuck? Like,
and Another big part too is like the structure of the songs. I feel like you know, like in the newer deathcore, they're trying to, there's a lot of repeating part. No problem with that, but like they're following kind of a pop structure. But like with this new wave, with you guys, like we're rediscovering like more of a, you don't know what we're gonna do next, and it's going to destroy you type thing, you know, like you don't know what to expect, like many riffs and stuff like that. So I feel like this was also like a big part of deathcore. Personally, that's what I love. Like, I don't want to know what's going to happen. Like, just throw like big riffs back into it, sometimes with no freaking transition, like just it goes in a direction, call out, something like that. And that's something that I feel we lost over time a lot. Like it became more and more just like polished, kind of more predictable, even I would say, like the breakdown at the same spot, 3/4 of the song, breakdown is there or at the end. So like it was kind of expected.
To be fair, the breakdowns used to always just be at the end before. So there's that, but
yeah, there was always one at the end, but also in other parts. So it was kind of, yeah, but you know, I miss the days when you would have like just a breakdown starting the song for no reason. Just you click, it's a big like freaking breakdown call out. You know,
breakdown intro tracks.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, that was the best. Just a big like intro.
Like KDEP. Like
and in 2015, it went to just breakdowns, the whole song.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, we talk about that a lot. It's kind of that just kind of removed all contrast from,
if you
from
only
the genre.
do it, yeah. Only breakdown, maybe like you lose the impact, but it's cool when you don't know when it's gonna hit. Like the goal of a breakdown, it says it's breaking the part. So like if you make it, you know, predictable, and I'm not talking about like breakdown preparation. It's super cool when you have like a build up. Like I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about like many bands would release a song and I wouldn't know when it's gonna hit. I know they're gonna start with this, it's gonna go there. You're losing the intensity of it all if it becomes predictable to me. So like I love hearing stuff that no clue. Like basically all of you guys are doing that, right? Like it's about the feeling of the song, not being, you know, structured in a predictable way so that people are just, you know, like I feel like it's a big part of the new wave, like from what I'm seeing. Like Psycho Frame is a good example of that. You have no clue what's going to happen at all. Like they're throwing riff after riff and stuff like that. Even like when they have like guest vocalists, like the song with Waking, it's like, what the fuck? Like when I heard that, like I think you guys all know that, like big fan of Waking, but like when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, that's the part. Like it's, the surprise needs to be there in deathcore to me, even if I'm older.
The monster. I don't know if you saw the stuff. The like, what do you call it? He has like a stuffed. I don't want to say like a stuffed animal, but like
it's like a plushie.
Yeah,
I saw it. I want it.
Dude, for real.
Like he actually sent it to me, like because like that's one of my one of my bucket list things. Like now I'm on WhatsApp and he's sending me this and I'm like, what? At first I thought somebody kind of made like an editing or something. I'm like, okay, is that like he's like, no, it's a real thing, you can buy that. Yeah. And I'm like, what? It's
a real product.
Like, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you squeeze it and it plays like Chase Through the Woods or something.
Yeah.
How do you even get that, man?
I don't know.
That dude Waking the Cadaver is so tough.
We need to hop on that, guys.
Dude, I felt targeted by it. I'm like, they made that for someone like me. Like, I'm literally a child. Like, I love having like figures and different stuff. So like, I'm like, that's kind of me. I need one. I'm gonna buy one for sure.
I know you're buying one. I already know that.
Yeah.
As a band,
everything was like on point. The chest hair and all. I was like,
yeah. There's two versions of it actually. He's got like one with the cap and one without, and like slightly different outfit.
Right, yeah.
Has a band ever done action figures, like actual toys?
That'd be so sick.
That'd be so sick if we had like a ton of bands doing it. Like if a label or a company hit up like a bunch of different like bands and did like a bunch of band members from a bunch of different like bands, that'd be so fucking sick.
Dude, Dude, it would also be a good way
have
to
them fight.
Yeah, it would be a
get
good
the
way.
Imure versus Acacia strain fight in action figures.
Could work, but like I think it would be a good way to honor people as well. Like, best believe I would buy a Mitch freaking figure, and it would be like right there, you know, in the, you know, bird position or whatever. So like, I feel like all these people that have iconic moves and stuff, it would be a great way to immortalize it and just like,
yeah, we gotta talk to some people. We gotta make that happen.
Oh, bro, that's like $1 million idea, bro. Phil Bozeman, like, always in that position. It's like that, right?
Like Phil Bozeman on that Suicide Silence, the unanswered when they
dude,
the Ariel show.
Man,
what we're talking about, dude.
Oh yeah, you no, okay. I'm thinking too much now, but you build out with sets. You know, like you do like the "You Only Live Once" like music video set. You can sell with the figures.
It's like a house shit open up, and then you have like all the words.
The Deathcore Polly Pockets.
Good.
I would buy everything,
dude.
You need an alternative suit to wear for the Golden God edition.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can change the outfits. Yeah.
I would buy all of it. I would literally buy everything out of these collections for sure. Like everything, like Don doing the chase to the like. I would buy all these freaking figures. It would be so freaking sick, dude. We gotta find a way. We gotta do that.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to send an email.
All right, guys. So we do have a show today, though. So we're gonna head out. We gotta start. But we do appreciate you guys for having us all on, of course.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys so much for being
Thanks
a part of it. And
always.
Super excited for you guys and the tour that's coming up and everything you guys got going.
Thank you guys so much for getting us on the tour, dude. We can't wait.
And that's none of our doings. That's all Marky Boy. But we appreciate you for sure.
Of course.
Thank you so much for having us on. It means so much. Nice talking to you, Don.
Absolutely, you guys crushed. So does VictimBlamed. We're fucking stoked, dude. It's gonna be sick.
Awesome,
Love
dude.
y'all boys, bro.
What, a week and whatever. We'll see you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
We start on Friday, so I'm getting ready.
Definitely chill it at the show tonight.
Yeah, good. Have a good show, guys.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's like, to me.
Okay, now we get to talk shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do here. We have guests, and then we talk shit about people we have. But it's crazy to know that, like, we keep saying that every time Psychoframe is releasing something, we already know it's going to be good type thing. But like, I feel like with this tour, like, everybody kind of already know it's going to do well and stuff like that, which is fairly rare. Like, I mean, if we talk about obviously like Lorna or whatever, they kind of know it's going to do well, but like for, you know, in deathcore and very heavy deathcore, like I kind of never really heard that, knowing it's going to do freaking well. So like, I'm excited to see the live videos because we're all the way in freaking Canada, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Everybody keeps asking me, by the way, they're like, oh, which date are you I'm like, I'm screwed. I'm like at the other end of the world. So, but I'm going to watch for the videos.
Come out for one of them.
You're what?
Just come out for one of them. Come to Texas.
Me and Dom, we were actually talking about that. About like
I'm doing a few road trips to the U.S. in the coming months because there's a few really sick fucking tours that are coming just close enough. Like none of the fucking tours ever hit like Burlington or like fucking anywhere that's actually close to us. But I'm looking at that tracheotomy tour. It's hitting up Albany, which is like it's like a 5-hour drive. So I think I'm making the drive. I gotta show up. So
Played with them last week. They're fucking sick. It's the first time. Yeah, they're awesome.
Tracheotomy?
Crazy.
Yeah. My other band play like a local fest around here with them.
Oh, that fest, it was like Summerfest or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's like a summer themed fest, yeah.
Yeah, the tiki, like the tiki thing going on and everything.
Yeah, they're cool. Littlest Demise played too. They were sick.
They're awesome too. Dude, the last EP they did, Littlest Demise, is just like super freaking sick.
Yeah,
like,
it's really fucking good.
I wrote to them right after. I'm like, fuck.
They're playing the Orlando days of summer.
They're playing the Orlando days. Okay, yeah.
Like next couple weeks or something.
Can't down with it.
They need to create.
I would love to be at that.
Yeah, you know, like with the Summer Slaughter type thing, that there's like many bands. They need to do that with the newer wave. Like, imagine something that you have like Lit Demise, all those, like all of you guys, like a freaking big fest with all the new generation. I would honestly, like at this point, I think me and Dom would literally take a plane or like do the drive. Like if that happened, I would be like, okay, I'm not missing it. I don't care. We're going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy
like
for sure.
Dude.
That Texas show. That Texas show is really close to that. If you ask
Well,
me.
yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, it's fairly close. When I saw the lineup, I'm like,
there may or may not be something announcing in Florida later this year that I may or may not have a hand in. That might be along those lines, but definitely would be crazy if something like that did happen.
Mm-hmm.
dude.
Yes,
Like, and again, it goes to show, like with the tour, like you do something like that and you know it's going to do well too, right? So it's not like you do, it's a lot of organization. It's very, I know it's very complex and all that, but like it's the kind of things that you do and you're like, that's going to do well for freaking sure. Like imagine like all of you guys would all like list them. I don't see any world in which like it wouldn't sell or people wouldn't, you know, like you all have really, how'd you call that when you have like a dedicated crowd? Like there's a term for it. Like you have
a fan base,
like
a cult following.
Cult following. Boom. I was looking for that with my terrible English. Yeah, but you guys all have. It feels like that you have all cult following. Like people very invested in it. So
yeah, I think that's the main thing, right? Like it's not about like the amount of fans. It's like I feel like the people that are into like this specific niche of deathcore right now are like really about it, like super supportive and like wanting to go out to the shows, wanting to buy merch. Like all these bands are doing these like limited, you know, like pre-orders or limited runs of merch and stuff, and it's all fucking selling out and shit like that. So it's cool. It's cool to see. I know there's a lot of like, you know, you would do the same thing with like just quote unquote regular deathcore, like newer bands coming into a deathcore scene like 5 years ago. And like, they wouldn't be like selling out shows or, you know, like selling out merch and all this stuff. So there is something to the fan base right now that's like really feeding.
We can tell you that.
But then those bands come back now and they're like, you know, they got that fucking.
Oh, that band was so sick back then.
Dude,
why didn't we care?
With Blood Comes Cleansing. Like they came back and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then they're blowing that new song they just put out. I'm pretty sure it has Kyle on it.
Yeah.
From Body Snatcher. Yeah. And but yeah, that shit's been getting shared around. I know they did that other video. I can't remember if it was or wasn't a Lawn Chair Youth, but I believe it was.
It was.
That
yeah,
one
they
got
did one. Yeah.
attention. But it's like, I mean, a lot of them have come back. Rose Funeral.
I mean, the hype around All Shall Perish.
Dude, for real.
Yeah. I think it's just for that one fest still.
Oh, is it just for the one fest?
I think. Am I wrong on that?
They've got a few other they're doing Incarnation or whatever that one is. They're doing. Yeah, they're doing a few festivals. Yeah.
Definitely. We need.
But they talked about the band like being like back, but. Dude, as Blood Runs Black, like they've been writing, like they put out a video like a couple of years ago being like, hey, like we're still working on shit and we just don't know when it's coming out, but that shit needs to come out and we need some shows.
I don't want to spoil anything, but like I wrote to As Blood Runs Black because people are literally, you know, asking every day for me to do a video about them. So like I wrote to them because I want to do their story right and stuff. And they told me we're very busy this summer, so later. So I don't know if they're busy with possibly. I don't know, but that would be freaking sick if they do something.
Damn, that would be insane.
Dude, like literally everybody would be hyped with that. Like literally everyone in this, like nobody would be like, oh, like everyone would be super stoked about them coming back. I would be also curious to see how it would sound. It's been a long time too. So
the two bands, like if I could bring any two bands back, would be as Blood Runs Black for sure and Annotations of an Autopsy.
Good choices. I need to go with Suffocate personally, back with Ricky and everything. I would take this band. Like I know it doesn't. I don't see that happening, but it would be so freaking sick. And
I think I'm wearing a fucking Suffocate shirt under this.
What?
No, it's not that. It's over there. But yeah,
He was.
yeah, I don't know. I keep, this Demolisher would be freaking sick too, probably. I would have said Jerome, but they're already coming back, so there it is. They said it. I didn't spoil it. They said it, so okay.
That's insane. That's one I can't even believe that. That's about as like that has me as sidestruck as the Elysia remastered. Yeah. It's like what?
Oh yeah,
bands you definitely didn't think you'd ever hear from again. Whatever.
Well, do you remember when And Hell Followed With had it on their? I think it was their Facebook. It said, "We're not a band anymore. Go outside and play with your friends."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that band never come back, and then they came back. So it could happen.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of bands are seeing the hype, and they're kind of putting some of these bands kind of, they get hit up all the time about stuff, or they put feelers out and there's big responses for it. So, and I think the other thing too, if we talk about a band like As Blood Runs Black, I think there's also a part of it that because people are into this their older sound, maybe there's some chances for some of these bands to not necessarily just have a continued sound progression from where they were at, but to kind of go back to their roots and maybe do something that's a little bit more old school. We've all heard, Whitechapel's new stuff is sounding super reminiscent of their earlier records and stuff like that. I think a few Suicide Silence is kind of doing the same thing too, going back to their roots in terms of writing and stuff like that. So I think there is something to, even some of these older bands are going back to the MySpace or their earlier roots, which is cool to see. I'm here for it. I can't complain. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think
I wish a lot of them follows too. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, dude, you have to. So I keep talking if you don't. So it's completely fine. Oh yeah, you can go ahead. By the way, I
was just saying, I hope a lot of them follow suit. I wish a lot of these bands, either way, I'm still stoked. But it's I have to say, when a band comes back and then sounds way different, I'm but we want the old stuff.
Yeah, to me though, if you were to come back, it needs to be similar in my vision though, because if you come back after a long time, it's kind of weird that you if you evolve over time. Let's take Bring Me, they always did something different. We're all used to see them reinventing themselves, doing something else. It's no surprise. It's fine to do their thing. But when you were I don't know, I don't want to call it a legacy band, but a cult, very cool band. And then 10, 15 years later, you come back and it sounds completely different. Should you come back if you do something completely different?
My argument is just start a new band, just change the name or something. It's 100% just banking on the name, being fully aware that people are probably not going to fuck with it type thing. But
That's my point. I would personally be scared of ruining what we did in the past. It's like when they're trying to bring a series or a movie and it's terrible. I'm why would you it was fine like that, a lot of people The Office, for example, they're oh, they should do another. I'm no, leave it. It was good like that. Don't
just leave it alone.
They're doing
don't touch it. They have this habit of. Sorry, but yeah, they have this habit of doing that. I'm don't, just leave it as it is. Do something else. Create something else. Don't ruin it.
It's they'll ruin it. They'll taint it. It's the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. It was so bad that it actually hinders the original.
The whole brand, yeah.
I think you heard the name more than anything. At this point, if you want to do something, make sure it's going to be at the very least similar. you know, the same kind of vibe. And if you can't do something else, like we've got in the chat right now, you know, Jake from Manitoumi was in Her Demise My Rise. It was like a big, the big thing I was listening to back then. And he started a new band. He could have easily just be like, oh, Her Demise My Rise. He started something new, you know, and it's different and stuff like that. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, there's something about like every kind of like vision, like just kind of having your own identity, you know, like have it because I do think there is something kind of precious about like a band's brand and identity and all these things and what a band like sound is supposed to sound like and stuff like that, and to kind of flip it up on fans is kind of weird because then you're like, well, what type of band are they anymore? Like, what do we call this? What do we? I don't know. It's kind of just confusing for everyone ultimately. I think we could kind of land the plane here because we did go over most of the stuff that I had kind of planned for us, but I'd love for you guys to maybe
we didn't talk about the snare though, and I think like it was very important to me to know the process. I'm very sorry, but I cannot. I need to know how was the process. Maybe it was simple, maybe it was easy for you guys, but I would be curious to know how it went to find that snare sound.
Is that which week we directed it to?
You can take that one. I mean, all of us seem to have that snare tone, so but I mean, I don't know, just it fits for sure, and it's definitely like it was in the OG sound. Like a lot of those bands had that, and back then I feel like it was just viewed as like bad snare tone, but now it's like they found a way to like mix it to where it sounds sick. But I think it was like a blunt change for a lot of people, like whoa when they hear that. So it's like, you know, and it's like for every two people, because there's been the haters that are like, oh, we're gonna stand the what was that Metallica album with the steel drum? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna stand the Saint Anger drum now. Someone commented that on our video.
That's awesome.
But it's like for every person that says that, there's like 20 that are like, bro, what is that snare tone? That's sick. So I mean, I think it's a win.
Yeah, definitely.
How about you guys, Victim?
We don't really have the snare tone out yet, like on like our old stuff, but on our new stuff, it's gonna be there for sure.
There we go.
It's a big part of it. Like if we take Psycho Frame as an example, right? Like it makes a big difference in the feel and the two steps and everything. To me, if it's the closer it sounds to like a frying pan, I'm very happy. Like if it sounds like a punk, I'm gonna be extremely happy.
I love the dodgeballs you guys put out, Peacemaker.
Yeah, those might actually come to life. We'll see, but I think with deathcore and like. I'm trying to word this in a way that like, because it goes back to the like youthful genre thing, and it's like deathcore is kind of supposed to have like ignorant vibes to it. Like you're supposed to hear something and be like what the fuck? Like that doesn't even make sense. It's just disgustingly brutal. So it's like, and when you're younger, you're just kind of like, fuck it, dude. I don't care. Like it's just rebellion. It's like, okay, here's the norm. I'm gonna make it just blatantly ignorant, but it slaps.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah, there's a confidence about it, about being like, that's us, don't care. That's our song, you know. Yeah. I agree with that. Simples, you know, gang shout out, all that stuff. Like just do what you want to do, no rules, you know what I mean? Like that's it. Sorry, Dumbo, we had to talk about this now.
Oh, you're good, dude. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. But yeah, I mean that's kind of all we got. I think we should end off though. Maybe if you guys have any shout outs about things that you guys got going on or anything that's upcoming. Obviously, there's the tour. Yeah, anything you guys want to talk about before we end it? I'll hand it to you guys. Maybe Peacemaker, you can go first.
Just you know, like we definitely have some stuff coming up. It is kind of a secret, but for now. But I just want to say, like, to anyone watching, like, keep your eyes open. Like, the scene is blowing up right now. There's there's tons of new bands. Like almost every day I find new bands that are popping up that are grinding and stuff. So it's like, you know, to make this all blow up, like we need everyone to it needs to be a community effort. So it's like, you know, just support your local music scene, go out to shows, like if you can buy merch and stuff, even just like reach out to bands and let them know like you fuck with their shit. Cause you'd be surprised like how many people, like it's really hard. It's expensive. It's mentally tolling doing this kind of shit. And like the small reward is the like playing shows, the like talking to fans and stuff, and like you know, making friends in this community. And it's like you'd be surprised just letting bands know that you fuck with them. Like it goes miles and stuff. But yeah, really just like keep your eyes open because tons of new bands are dropping new shit, and it's been sick.
Oh yeah. How about you guys, Victim Blame?
We got damn. All right, so we're dropping an EP July 30th for the people on here that actually watched this.
Hey.
And now y'all know. We got music video, so much merch, jackets, like multiple designs. It's gonna be like everything online. It's gonna be crazy.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And then both of y'all, and then Rev3rent as well, obviously. All three of you guys are doing the Thrill of the Hunt tour that's starting in about a week. So if you guys, if anyone listening or watching, you know, where is it hitting? We're doing Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia. What am I missing here? Arkansas. There we go. I'll have a link in the description, or I'm gonna put it in chat right now. If people want to check out the dates and music from any of the bands, and I'll have it in the description if you're watching on the replay. But yeah, check out the dates if you guys are anywhere near those shows, because those shows are gonna be fucking badass, I'm sure.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for doing this and taking the time to show up and talk with us, talk about MySpace Deathcore and all the good stuff. But yeah, we'll let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for doing this, guys.
Very well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys. It's dope.
Of course, of course.
Peace, man.
I love the fans. Y'all are
See you guys soon.
Hell yeah.